Father Svet, you were a Franciscan in New York when you first heard about the apparitions. How did you feel? What did you think of your people back home? Did you believe it? Can you describe that for us?
When the first word arrived, I immediately believed, simply because I thought our people would not be able to invent that. They would not be able to make up that story that is beyond imaginations. I immediately, fully, 100% believed the children were speaking the truth. And I did not change in any way in that attitude whatsoever since that first moment.
I suppose we could say you yourself was a pilgrim also. You came back home. Internally, what did you feel your role was going to be when you came back here?
First of all, that word pilgrim is a wonderful word. That describes my role the best. That describes my position from the very first moment and every moment since then. This is it. I have been and I will be a pilgrim. Pilgrim with the very life, very existence, and together with everyone else. So I'm one of the pilgrims with all other pilgrims. And sometime, I think as we walk together, we are supposed to give a helping hand to each other. As simple as that. I realized I need to share this pilgrimage. I need to offer my insights, my reflections, as much as anyone else could offer something of their own in this journey of pilgrimage.
At the time when the apparitions were happening, you had communism, a war was about to break out. Can you discuss the major struggles that you came up against at that time?
First of all, every day in my life, all these days since and all my life, I have fun. So struggles, I even find struggles fun, because life needs to be good life, meaningful, with purpose, with challenges. In all this, I'm a little like curious child. You know, when 2 years old is just climbing everywhere, walking everywhere, doing things and breaking things. I'm a little bit of that, all of that, and all my life. So I find life good and fun, but definitely there is always someone who would like to remove and take away that fun. There are people with different agenda, and when I arrived here from New York, I had to go to the police number of times, like for 15 consecutive days. I went for these interrogations for hours and hours every day. They were trying to find out what I was doing in abroad, what were my connections, what was my role, and not only in my life as a priest, but also they were curious to know if I was involved in some nationalistic movements, as they accuse every priest of doing that. So they probably didn't like what I was saying. They expected some kind of cooperation and goodwill of mine. So they decided to take away my passport. So actually from New York I came to visit my family, and returned to New York. So when they took away my passport, I was not able to return to the States. And this is where a new stage of my pilgrimage began. I immediately realized, I don't know Medjugorje, I don't know the details of the story, I don't know the content and what one should know and what one should do. So I started investigating and writing after my own curiosity, but I also realized that I need to provide information for the other pilgrims. So there was a little book, Apparitions of Our Lady at Medjugorje, that was published in '83, but first in France, and then later on in the States. And then I received an assignment here, which was very fun. I enjoyed my work, always coming to be present with pilgrims here in Medjugorje and returning to my place. I was for 7 years, 84, 91, assigned, that was before the war, in one of our mountainous area of Herzegovina, Konjic. I was assigned there, which was a rather very, very poor area and poor parish, so I helped the life of the community and of the church there. And in 1991 I was assigned to Mostar to work as a chaplain with sisters, and that is when the war started. So in the years of war I was always mostly with sisters. That was again very, very providential. I was able to be with sisters. I was able to provide a little encouragement, a little bit helping them to organize how to deal with war, how to deal with, like, it was unfortunate, but I realized the sisters have to leave their convent in Mostar, in Bielopolje. 96 sisters were there when I arrived. We all had to leave. So I was very much involved with that, and it was good process. We were able to do that gracefully with no major incident, and that was a good part of the story of war. Make the best out of the situation. Then I worked with refugees. You try to, in those difficult days, difficult moments when people are deprived of their family life, of everything, their home and of their normality, you try to provide something that is sensible, like people should not be left without food, without some kind of guidance, encouragement. That was my role in the years of war. There were moments, one hoped it was better, but...
Father Svet, you're leaving Mother's Village after 13 years. You continued onwards with Father Slavko's work. Where are you going in your heart next, and how has Mother's Village moved on in the time you've spent there?
Again, all these years, these 13 years since death of Father Slavko in 2000, I must say that we had good days. We have been very much alive. There was a presence of providential help from the Lord. I felt every moment the presence of the hand of Our Lady and of our Lord. And the role of Mother's Village, that in the times of struggle, of difficulties with families, when family is not functional, that Mother's Village need to help. I think that every child has a right to have a quality childhood, to have the best childhood possible. So when everything is lost, when a child really loses the family, loses the parents that are able to help the child, we are there to help. And I'm proud. I'm really thankful. I cannot say enough of this. There were moments when these children were really with not promising future. And then they come to us, and then the family is helped, this child is helped, and now after a few years with us, you see this child healthy, doing well in school, and with a good future.
it's the end of an era, you could say you're moving on to the next chapter in your life. How long are you going to enter the seminary for?
So this is a surprise. This is a surprise but life has been always surprise from the very beginning. Everything in life has been surprise. So nothing changed with having everything new. Going to the seminary, again working with and living actually with young people in our Franciscan community in Zagreb will be a real new challenge. I will need grace. There was one thing that has been on my mind thinking about this new place. I know that these people that I'm going to be with are smart, capable, young, and they have wonderful professors. They're intellectuals. I understand they do well in school. So my role will be just be there with them as one of the brothers, a Franciscan, and maybe trying to, if with the grace of our Lord, trying to be as holy as possible, as the graces of Lord and my own weaknesses as these allow me, I will continue my pilgrimage with these young Franciscans.
I can't put it into words of what you mean to me. Honesty and love with you, didn't try, it came so easily. Naturally, always smile, and the spirit within you, it runs wild. And I know it's been a while, but I still feel like a child. When I'm with you, I know I'm safe, everything will be fine. When talking across the table, you put your hand over mine. I go back to the time I didn't have the heavy